Let's begin.
Shall we get into it, everybody? Pour yourself a stiff one because we're gonna need it.
Absolutely. The milky drinks may not cut it tonight,
There's my
but
stiff one.
get comfy nonetheless. Grab that beanbag, snuggle into your cozy chair, wrap yourself in a blanket. Hey, it's Chris. Chris points out that somebody else pointed out that these kind of talks are normally done behind the oval desk and focus on the gravitas of the moment. Was the person pointing it out talking about when there's a regular president who actually gives a shit about anything other than reality TV? That would be my wonder.
That would be my guess.
But at least, Chris, at least it wasn't in a baseball cap in the middle of the night in Mar-a-Lago, like when he announced the war.
Oh
So, you know, progress?
Maybe.
Oh, dear.
You in trouble? Half iced coffee with cream.
Wow.
Amy's got her
really hitting the hard stuff tonight.
She is.
He was sure holding on to that lectern. I know we all spotted that because we were all watching it together. So we have the benefit of safety in numbers. So what did we really get out of it? Well, not a great deal. So what was the date yesterday, Laura, just out of interest?
Wasn't it the first? Oh, it was April Fool's Day.
Ironic. I just mentioned that because, you know.
Because he made a fool of himself on
every day he's ever been in the public eye, but especially
yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the universe is trolling us.
I think so.
Did nobody tell him, maybe not today, boss?
Right. No. I think they're trolling him also. I think his staff may be trolling him, and I mean.
So apart from that Mar-a-Lago basement middle of the night announcement, this is the first actual address to the nation since the war began. Is that right?
That's it. The first, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So was it illuminating, reassuring, coherent?
Those are not really the adjectives I would use if I had to describe what I saw.
No.
No. I saw a man who contradicted. I mean, it's like everything he said, he needed a contradiction for. Just in case we weren't sure if we were living in the upside down, backwards, and world, he needed to remind us that we are.
Yeah, if you had contradicts himself in every square on your Trump bingo card, you got full house last night.
Yeah, and I ran out of fingers and toes when I was trying to count the contradictions.
It was almost like watching a hostage video. Like, Donald, blink twice if you need an intervention. I do worry. I flip from enjoying in a kind of schadenfreude way his absolute humiliation.
Yeah.
And then I flip to, is this elder abuse? And then I remember I don't give a shit because he's an evil bastard. In my opinion, allegedly.
And he's not aware of the humiliation. He thinks he's doing just fine. So
you see that a lot in dementia patients.
Yeah, the fact people might be talking about him behind his back, like most of the nation, doesn't seem to occur to him that that's what's going on.
Can you imagine? I mean, I worry if I walk down the street and I smile at a complete stranger and they don't smile back, I will be playing that over in my head for months.
Right.
And yet he can destroy the lives of millions and millions of people and doesn't
bat an eye. Doesn't face it, not even a little. Literally. Yeah, I'm like you, Mama. If I go to work and I say hi to somebody I know, one of my coworkers, and they say a snippy hi back, it is all about me, and I have to wonder and worry, and what did I do? And they're pissed off at me, and then we have to have a conversation about it and come to find out it has nothing to do with me. But to be that oblivious in the world, could you even imagine being as oblivious as he is, walking through the world like that?
No, I'm almost a little jealous.
Yeah, right. Exactly right.
Have that little self-awareness is
Right.
It's quite a gift.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to have a look at the speech in more detail, and I'm kind of left with the question, is this a president in command of his actions, or is Grandpa going gaga? And they're just questions. We're just asking the questions.
We could poll that.
Yeah, we could do a poll. Is Grandpa on it, or has he completely lost it?
You guys feel free to tune up in the comments and tell us, your honest opinion, because it is an opinion.
Absolutely. So
he's aware this doesn't give a shit, Amy says.
No, he really doesn't. No, he never had it. Thanks, Amy. You're not wrong.
Right.
So we don't do fact checking anymore, I've noticed, on American television. We do putting that imbecile on live on pretty much every channel available at his whim.
Mm-hmm.
So how did the speech hold up under scrutiny? Was it illuminating? Did it give us information? Did he say anything that we can...
I don't think he said anything we didn't already know, did he?
No, I didn't hear an awful lot.
Other than the Strait of Hormuz will open itself up in time, just magic. It'll be magic. Just gonna open itself right on up there.
That's right, he did. I think, was that just shortly after or just shortly before he told the rest of the world we needed to go in and open it up?
Right.
So we need to go in and open it up, and it will magically open itself.
So why do you need to go open it up if it's just going to magically open itself?
Maybe he's
giving us more oil, because you guys are, you as in the rest of the world, not the USA, are the ones who use that oil, apparently.
Does that worry Americans, that he doesn't know how the international oil market works? And it really doesn't matter how much you produce.
It's mortifying.
The prices are still going to go up for everyone.
Right. I mean, I guess in his brain, he thinks the big deal is we're going to run out of oil. So he's reassuring us all that America has plenty of oil. But that's not what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of paying $7 a gallon for the shit.
Absolutely. My bigger existential fear remembers that his tiny little fingers are on the nuclear button. But my day-to-day fear is I couldn't go up and spend Easter with my sister, my niece, and my grandniece and nephew because I can't risk not being able to afford the petrol.
Right.
The gas, as you guys call it.
Yeah.
So we've stayed home. So I miss out on these two awesome little creatures.
And that makes me feel so ashamed of my country. That we're affecting people in other countries from our choice. The big hour choice.
I know what you mean. But it's all relative, isn't it? Within 5 minutes of being in office, this man was cutting USAID, and the deaths in the world's poorest countries, which will happen as a result of that, make me whining about my vacation plans pale into insignificance a little bit. But I can't imagine what it's like to be so dependent on economic aid that my life depends upon it.
Right. Yeah, I cannot either. It's all relative, really. I think it's all about what you grow up in. If you grow up in poverty, that's what you know. If you grow up in Donald Trump land, than being rich is all you know and how to grift to get to make sure you stay rich.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's,
From your perspective, are the contradictions deliberate or because he's lost his fucking marbles?
Wow, that's a good question.
Because it's very difficult to hold him on. Oh, well, you said it was about regime change. Yeah, but I also said it wasn't about regime change.
Right.
And you said we weren't going to leave until the Straits of Hormuz were open. Yeah, but I also said that we're not that bothered about the Straits of Hormuz.
Right.
How do you hold anybody accountable who've said both sides of everything?
Maybe that is his brilliant strategy. And it's
Is
not
that the
not the
5BJ?
weave anymore. The weave is old news.
No weave.
No weave. I don't know what, we need a new name for this thing he does with the.
And there was no weave last night. Were you shocked about the length of the?
It was
Yes,
short and
we're
sweet.
killing Americans, we're killing Iranians, we're killing Lebanese, we're killing random people in the Middle East.
Yeah, the war is over. We bombed them. We bombed everything they have, and it's over. But we're going to continue bombing them for another 3 weeks.
Yeah, and Trump likes a long speech.
Yes, he does.
This wasn't.
Somebody tied him to the teleprompter. I mean, somebody made him follow the teleprompter last night, and
I've never seen that before.
I have never seen that before either. It was just like, let's do all our contradictions and get the hell out of here. It was weird.
It like 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was 19 minutes.
It's insane. Normally, that first 20 minutes after the time that a speech is supposed to start, we're all sitting there waiting for him to turn up because he can't be bothered to be on time.
Or we're waiting for him to get started because he's rambling about, his Sharpie or some shit.
Oh, God. Did you see, I saw clips of an earlier media briefing that he gave where he actually said out loud he was going to go live to the nation and tell them how brilliant he was.
Oh, I didn't see that. Thank God.
I'm paraphrasing, but it was along the lines of, I'm going to go on and tell them how brilliant I am and what great things I've done.
I did see that. Yes, I did. And that's pretty much what he did. I mean,
yeah,
he told us how, that he was the only president that had the balls to take on Iran. And, for the second time, he has obliterated their nuclear arsenal. So I don't know how many times you have to obliterate a nuclear weapon for it to truly be obliterated. Anybody know the answer to that?
Yeah. And after you've destroyed somebody's army, their navy, their nuclear capabilities, and their ballistic missile systems, what are you doing for 3 weeks if you're still there?
Why are you bombing them still? But he's negotiating, right? They're having good talks and they're negotiating, and it's going well. But we're going to continue to bomb them for 3 weeks.
Yeah. And today I saw reports that there was a targeted bombing on a former foreign minister or defense minister,
Really?
Killing his wife and severely injuring him. No. And he was reportedly one of the voices of some reason that could be Trump's imaginary friend that he's negotiating with.
Could be.
And there's starting to be this rumble of every time negotiations seem to maybe be going somewhere, somebody drops a bomb on the people doing the negotiating.
Yeah, it's like, how many sets of people do we need to take out that we're negotiating with? I don't remember that being a thing with negotiations, that you bomb who you're negotiating with.
No, I mean, granted, if the negotiations aren't going well, then maybe I could see a reason for bombing them. But if you're making progress,
yeah, he's making great progress according to Trump, and we've got somebody that how did he describe it? Is reasonable
More
to deal with or
reasonable.
something? What did he say?
He said that the people they're talking to are more reasonable.
More reasonable, right? Yeah. So let's bomb them. We can't have them being reasonable.
So we're basically up to Europe and Asia need to go in and open the Straits of Hormuz, which will open themselves up automatically eventually anyway. We aren't interested in regime change, but it was all about regime change, and there's been regime change, even though it's the same regime, but it's a different person.
I think that counts as two altogether.
We've obliterated their nuclear capabilities, but we had to go back in 5 weeks ago to doubly obliterate them. And since we've been there, we've obliterated them some more, but we need to stay another 3 weeks to totally obliterate them for the third time.
Right.
And but it doesn't matter because we're not actually bothered about their nuclear capability anyway.
We'll count that as 5. Okay. Now we got 5.
So he said on Tuesday in our receipts, we've got the day before the speech, he told reporters, and I quote, "They will have no nuclear weapon, and that goal has been attained." Then in the same press event, he suggested future presidents might need to come back and deal with the same issue again. Then in a Reuters interview on the morning of the speech itself, he said he's not concerned about Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium because, quote, "that's so far underground, I don't care about that."
But then,
well, let's hope they don't have spades or diggers or, trowels.
That's what he said. That's 6. So it's so far underground. What did he say? That's so far underground, I don't care about that. But we have it under surveillance 24/7, and if they make any sort of move towards it, we will take them out. You remember him saying that?
Yeah, as long as it's not after we've left, obviously. As long as they don't do it in the next 3 weeks,
right?
When we will be watching. But after that, you pays your money, you takes your chances.
Right. So we're at 6 contradictions so far.
God,
what else you got, Mama?
Yeah, no, that was the big one for me, the why we went in, because just earlier this week or late last week, we had Caroline Levitt remind us, and I put remind in inverted commas because my understanding of the word remind is to refresh one's recollection about information already provided or already known. So when she reminded us of these 4 brand new aims of the war as we enter week 5 of the war, it felt a little gaslighty. But there was no mention of regime change. So it was take out the nuclear capabilities, nothing about Hormuz, decapitate the Navy and the Army. And there was one other thing which escapes me, but nothing about Hormuz and nothing about regime change. Yeah, it was the ballistic missiles, nuclear weapons, Army and Navy capabilities. So it was all war stuff. Honestly, we're fine. It's just war stuff. We're not deliberately murdering 170 little girls. It's just a fun byproduct.
Right. Yeah, civilian. Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice he's willing to make.
He sure is. And it's just the regime change thing. We could all get behind that. We'd all seen the horrific reports of tens of thousands of Iranian protesters being brutalized and murdered by their own government. Nobody was on the side of the Ayatollahs and the IRGC.
Do you see what I mean?
But yet now it's not an objective. So we don't know what it is. We've got Trump saying we never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all their original leaders' death. They're all dead. And then he went on to describe Mojtaba Khamenei, who is, in all other accounts, more extreme,
right,
more radicalized, and has watched his wife, father, and God knows how many other members of his family be obliterated by enemy bombs.
he's probably going to be a little pissed.
Less radical and more reasonable, apparently.
You think? Did you see what Amy?
I would have gone with pissed.
Did you see what Amy wrote about multiple credible reports indicate Kamal Karazi was one of the Iranian officials involved with attempting to set up direct negotiations with Vance.
Yeah, that's the guy who's
got the bomb dropped on him.
Yeah, and he's
in still alive condition.
Though? He was. Amy, any updates on his condition? Let us know. Amy's our fact checker secretary.
Yeah, they said
basically stands there with a big stick and hits us with it if we go wrong. And she does that all for free.
Yeah.
She's such a sweet
fact checker.
Yeah, so less radical, more reasonable. It's personality change. It's the same flipping family, let alone.
He did do a regime change. He made them more radical. Lies.
Oh, exactly. And what about the people of Iran now?
They're probably going to get behind their leader now.
And I'm not saying that Iran will tell them everything that's absolutely true and factual. We know that historically they've relied on their own propaganda machine as much as the next totalitarian regime. But they've got receipts now.
Are they still under little internet blackout? Do you know? Are they still?
Yeah. They've got a sort of internet available to the rich and powerful, but the people on the ground are only getting what they're told officially by the regime, or excuse me, what can be snuck in surreptitiously.
Poor baby.
I don't know.
It is midnight.
What I'm not getting is how you can be nearing completion and requiring 2 to 3 more weeks to bomb them back to the Stone Age. And it's the Stone Age, not the Stone Ages.
We only
ever one Stone Age. How is that even possible? It's 2 feet in both camps of the matter again, isn't it?
It's because he's an idiot.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't think he knows what he's even saying. And oh my God, did anybody count the number of times he said like nobody's ever seen before?
You were.
I was counting it.
Yeah.
I think it was 452 times.
You were pointing it out to us. I think we all lost count after about 300. God.
Yeah, it was 452, I'm pretty sure.
Unbelievable. Amy points out that apparently Karazi is still in the hospital and still critical. So, don't wish ill for anyone. But if he was potentially a conduit to peace, I really wish him a speedy recovery. Although I'm not entirely sure that he's still going to feel like it after his wife's been
right. But you know what? I mean, he was apparently trying to reach out to J.D. Vance because, I mean, what I heard was that they wanted to negotiate with J.D. Vance. They don't want to negotiate, which makes sense to me.
Absolutely.
I wonder how Trump's going to take that in terms of, I mean, shit, if I was J.D. Vance, I'd be looking up, waiting for the bomb to drop on me.
I know, it's terrifying. So at one point he declared the war was nearing completion, quote, and said the US is on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. That would be the military objectives that we only heard about a couple of days ago via Caroline Lies a Lot. And then he promised to hit Iran extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks and threatened to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously if no deal is struck, which is when he talked about sending them back to the Stone Ages. It's not that I don't get what he's saying. I mean, obviously I don't get it because it makes absolutely no sense, and that's fine because that's a pattern for him.
Mm-hmm.
But how are any Americans receiving that and thinking, yay, great, now we know what's going on? Or, so that's my first question. Second question is, how is anyone in his administration not stopping him, not pulling him up?
You're going robotic on me, I think.
Thank you. The other mic, is that better? Any better?
Yes, much. Thank you.
Yeah, so apparently we've only got 30 minutes to Glenn, so we need to whiz on. So on the war, we pretty much know nearer an understanding of what's going on, where we are, the point to it, and how we get out of it than we were before the speech. Would that be fair?
Well, that would be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll have no nuclear weapons, says Trump, and that goal has been attained. Oh, that's great. But then, yes, obviously people will have to go in at a later date and deal with the nuclear threat that they've removed.
Well,
so that's
good. You know how many times one of those things needs to be obliterated.
Yeah. But regime change, but not really regime change. Nearly at the end of the war, but still got to smash them back to the Stone Age.
And, this business about bombing civilian targets, they're, I'm not even going to say the word because I may say it like Trump said it. They're desalination. I got it right. Yeah. And their oil plants, and there was one other one. What was it that he was threatening to bomb?
Well, they've already started bombing the bridges, which is considered civilian infrastructure.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the US or Israel, because
right. Yeah,
not wishing to appear anti-Semitic in any way, shape, or form, but Israel have got form for bombing bridges.
Yeah, and they just want to bomb the shit out of whatever is their target for the day.
Yeah, they want the Iranian people to suffer. They don't care.
I am not anti-Semitic in the least. But if hating them right now makes me that way, then I'll be anti-Semitic for a minute. But it's not about their religion. It's not about them as a Jewish people. It's about their behavior under Netanyahu. That's what it's about.
And we looked at that the other day. Everyone deserves a homeland where they can feel safe and secure and not threatened and persecuted. Nobody would want anything other for everybody, but there are ways of doing it and there are ways of not. And
bombing the shit out of your neighbor is not one of them.
Exactly. I'm glad it's not just me that feels that.
No.
Even Amnesty International called on Trump to stop making these threats about bombing power plants.
Yeah. Did you hear? I think Glenn was talking to maybe Dan, the JAG.
Oh, Dan Maurer.
Yeah. I think it was Dan he was talking to or somebody anyway. I remember them being asked the question if it was considered a war crime to bomb an infrastructure like that, and his answer was maybe.
Yeah. I've heard another analyst say the same thing. It maybe
depending on the circumstances. Like if you're if you have a legitimate target and you know, civilian infrastructure happens to be there where this enemy target is, then you know you are not considered a war criminal. But what he's doing sounds more along the lines of, yeah, let's target that specifically.
Yeah, you don't give us what we want and we'll hurt your people. Sounds a little bit war crimey in my opinion.
It does to me too. War crime-ishy.
Our fact checker Amy has updated us that it was a joint effort on the bridges, so we could have already strayed into war crimes territory if we weren't already there, you know, with killing people in the Gulf of Mexico and on all the rest of it. So one interesting thing, and we've spoken about it before, is the market reaction and how a certain president likes to time his announcements and what he's saying to help with market buoyancy.
Right.
Something interesting happened after this speech, didn't it?
It was very interesting to see the charts on the oil futures. It shot up so high. I mean, you see this little graph going along and it's a little bumpy, and then all of a sudden it is just like boom, it headed north in a second after his speech.
So, and that means oil's more expensive.
Correct.
But what about the Dow? The Dow.
Oh, the Dow. Well, it decided to go the opposite direction. It went south.
You're kidding. So oil's getting more expensive.
Oil went north.
The stock exchange is going down. So your 401ks are tanking.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Is that the frog?
Yes, that's the frog barking.
Laura has a barking frog. You wouldn't expect any the less from us.
Right.
Black
cat. I can't
cat.
believe you heard that. That's
barking
awesome.
Frog there. Yeah, I heard it.
It was the barking frog.
That's mental.
It is. It freaks me out. Anyway, sorry about that.
And the polls in general, are the American people still firmly behind this war?
Sorry, pardon?
The polls in general, are the American people still firmly behind the war?
Like maybe 19%. Maybe 19% are behind it. And I mean, they say that, Donald Trump himself said it's been 32 days, I think, after he compared it to the rest of all the wars we've had and how many years those wars went. But this is an excursion. It's a little different.
Just a little excursion.
It's an excursion.
Whenever he says about it being an excursion, I remember going on package holidays with my family, and you go down to the welcome talk at the beginning of the holiday where they try to sell you all the excursions that, you know, the trips to the local thing. And then there's usually a pirate ship piss up or something. That's my idea of an excursion. So I'm like imagining some Club 1830 piss up in Carg Island.
If you get offered an excursion to Iran, I would decline.
Yes. At the moment.
Maybe. It would take me a long time to want to go over there.
Yeah, there are definite cons. It's not going to be the number one tourist destination.
You know, my mom's folks were Lebanese.
Were they?
Yes, and I've always wanted to, you know, go see the homeland, but I don't think in my lifetime it'll ever be safe enough to do that.
That's so sad. My eldest had a really good friend in primary school, and his family were Lebanese, and just the nicest people you could ever meet. So lovely.
Yeah. It's a shame.
So the markets are in absolute chaos. The war is over, but it's not over. We've also got, I was reading, an estimated 20,000 seafarers trapped on board vessels in the Straits of Hormuz.
You know, until you said something about that, I had not even, you know, I think I visualized these ships trapped on the wrong side of the Strait of Hormuz. But I'd never even considered all the people that must be trapped on those ships with no end in sight, you know. I mean,
terrifying, with bombs going off all around them.
I mean, are they getting replenished with supplies. I mean, that's freaky.
I have no idea. We need to look more into this, because it's like you hear of those awful cruises where they can't get. There was the COVID cruise where nobody was allowed off because COVID broke out, and there was the awful.
We thought that was bad.
Gastroenteritis bug that went round one cruise ship, and they couldn't get food and they couldn't use the toilets, and I'm just imagining, and on top of all that, they've got bombs going off all around them.
Mm-hmm. Right. And, since we accidentally struck a little girls' school and blew it back to the Stone Ages, I'd be terrified that our AI, whatever's driving these bombs that are going off target, might, consider my ship an enemy target. Who knows? I'd be terrified being anywhere close.
It's all right being sorry after the event. Not that anyone's actually saying sorry for
right. No, I haven't heard
a load of schoolgirls.
I have not heard any remorse about that from our administration.
But even if they were brokenhearted, that's not going to undead anybody.
It's not going to undead anybody. It's not going to bring those children back to their parents. It's horrifying. This whole damn thing is just horrifying.
So how's Mr. Trump and his team getting on with his formerly international close friends and allies? Everything going well in that respect? NATO, for example?
They're kind of moving on without him, right? Yeah, I think they're doing just fine. And how many times has he threatened to pull us out of NATO?
He's back on that one, isn't he?
He is back on that.
And can he do that unilaterally?
He can try. He can do it with his little Sharpie thing, but it won't be legal. But if he does that with his little Sharpie thing, just like he's doing all his little executive orders, and people seem to follow them even though they're not legal, and our military are all in Iran, even though that's not legal. What if NATO just says, to hell with y'all, we're tired of fooling with you, and kicks us the hell out?
Yes. And next week, I believe it's Mark Rutte, who's senior within NATO, is it? Amy, do the thing. Mark Rutte, Rutte. He's coming to visit, and he's previously been quite Trump compliant. So it'll be interesting to see.
Hicks has just fired the Army Joint Chief.
Oh, yes, I heard that. In the middle of a war, because, why would you need the most senior strategist in the military?
Do we know why he fired him, supposedly?
Oh, maybe he took a bad photograph of him.
Huh.
So, Amy, why did he fire the Joint Chief, and who's Mark Rutte? Is he the top of NATO at the moment, which I think is what he is, but I didn't make a note of it. And
I just want to tell NATO, please bear with us till we can get this idiot out of office.
Well, did you know Starmer's arranged talks for 32 odd countries across Europe to get together and discuss a way forward without the USA?
We'll be moving to your territory.
Yeah, you're all welcome.
Yeah,
I'll get the airbed out,
please.
Yeah,
and put the coffee on.
So Amy updates us that U.S. Army Chief of Staff Randy George has been asked to step down by the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and take immediate retirement. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Amy's going to look further into that. Do you know, I feel like one of those proper podcasters who have their team and they say, so-and-so, can you show the next slide or roll VT? I know, Amy, fact check me.
Right.
Poor unpaid Amy who just comes
right.
in.
Yeah. Right.
and ends up doing all the hard work. We love you, Amy.
We love you, Amy. You're the best.
NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte will be in Washington next week. That's what I thought. And as I say, that could go any way, because he's not going there necessarily to stand up for NATO.
I think we should all gather in Washington and say, Secretary General Rutter, whatever his name is, please bear with us, and please don't listen to anything that the orange stain that happens to be, stuck in our government says right now, because we're working on that. We're as Chris says. I don't know if I should.
Yes. There are things afoot. The witches are meeting, and we're casting spells in all kinds of directions. We have many talents.
It's gonna be fun. Stay tuned.
So we've got 15 minutes left before we start clashing with Glenn.
Okay.
And it's not all been about Grandpa hanging onto the lectern for dear life and just reading his 20-minute auto cue and then disappearing with that. I mean, he didn't even really conclude. He just finished a sentence and he was off.
I think I blinked, actually, because when I turned back around or whatever, he was gone. I'm like, where'd he go?
Yeah. All right, Grandpa.
That possibly be done.
Was it bedtime?
Yeah, it must have been, But
you were telling me something quite interesting was going on in the House of Representatives yesterday.
Yes.
They had reached a stalemate, hadn't they?
They had reached over the DHS funding bill, right? And and then Mike Johnson calls a 2-week vacation for the House. Like, let's just all leave and go party, and leave. And so I do not know why or what happened or what the cause was, but he has caved. Mike Johnson has caved on that, and is now, they're supposed to meet. I don't know if it was, pressure from the Republican Senate or what, but they're supposed to meet, and this bill is supposedly going to go through, and it will fund everybody except ICE and CBP, which is what we've been trying to do since I don't even know how long or how many bills that the Democrat side of the House has proposed. Multiple, like every day they were sending a bill up.
Even Republican Senator John Kennedy.
Yeah, right. And the hardliners were just like, no. Well, the hardliner was Trump telling them no deals until they pass the SAVE Act. And I hope to hell they don't try to slip that shit in there somehow.
And just to clarify for our listeners, watchers, all the rest of them, this is the same bill that 4 days earlier Johnson called a joke and a gambit that he's now agreed to.
That would be the same bill.
Lunatic.
I tell you, I worry that since there's such an about turn on this, supposedly, what's your word? Allegedly, in our opinion, that they're going to try to do something sneaky, like sneak in some part of that SAVE Act, like rewrite it and hide it in there somehow.
He's gone all barrels on that. And he's got executive orders about trying to sort out the mail companies from you can't. If somebody's name's not on the list, then you can't deliver their mail, is basically what I got from that.
Right. What do you mean already did, Amy? Already did what?
Oh, probably something we just said.
I think, which are you talking about? He's already tried to plant something in the bill.
Oh, yeah.
I hope not, because Marjorie Taylor Greene was she admitted that she doesn't read these bills when they come to her. She doesn't read them. You know, if her Republicans are telling her.
Laura, you've frozen for me.
Oh, did I?
Can the rest of you still see Laura moving? Is it just me that has got a frozen Laura?
Can y'all see me, Amy?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Can't see you. There you are.
Yeah, I wasn't frozen on my side. I could see and hear you fine. The EO he did on the 31st. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord above. It's just, we're hanging on by our
shit show, as you put it. It is a shit show train wreck into a dumpster fire.
Exactly. And the closer we get to the midterms, the more frightening it feels that
the more frantic they look.
Yeah, and there may be more shenanigans afoot.
I'm sure there will be. Didn't a judge, that's why Johnson caved? Oh, because of the EO he wrote?
Oh.
Which is not going to be legal because states control elections.
Yeah. Amy's just going forth the path, so nothing gets far today. Monday, challenges will start to hit, and they will. The ACLU and all the other fantastic organisations, democracy defenders, they'll all be fighting the good fight. You mentioned judges.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we had some interesting events with a certain group of judges yesterday, didn't we? Some very senior judges in the United States.
Yes, we heard something interesting about that. They were hearing, oh God, what were they hearing? Birthright citizenship. And lo and behold, they had a visitor come sit in. A special guest. Two of them.
Who?
Special guests.
Tell us who turned up.
DJT, our own president, and that is the first time a president has ever gone to listen to oral argument ever in the Supreme Court's history. And DJT brought a guest with him. And
who was that?
That would have been our favorite AG, Pam Bondi.
Don't you mean former AG?
That's exactly what I mean.
So yesterday, let me just check I've heard you right. Yesterday, your president went to the Supreme Court to hear the oral arguments in a case where he's one of the parties.
Right.
Never been done before, completely unprecedented.
He went full on with this stink eye.
And he took his little AG buddy with him, and then today
he fired her.
She's no longer the AG.
He fired her today.
But presumably he got a lot out of sitting through the whole couple of hours of the oral arguments.
Yeah, no. No. He left as soon as Sauer was done with his part and did not even stay for any of the argument from the other side.
See, that makes no sense to me, because once John Sauer, the Solicitor General, has finished speaking, for me, that's when the pain starts to ease. Because that man's voice.
Oh, no, he's hard to hear. Yeah, he is. And when he gets excited, he talks so fast that he's hard for me to understand anyhow. But when he starts talking like a mile a minute, I just give up. But,
he definitely got his law degree from the Trump University of Word Salad.
Right. Yes, I think he did. But, I think Trump left because he knew he was defeated. He was like, fuck it. We've lost.
What happened after he left? Because it didn't necessarily go Trump's way, did it, with the SCOTUS judges?
No. It's not going to be a close call. It will not be a close call.
God. So. From what I saw,
Amy said it was just like when he walked out of E. Jean Carroll's second case, when he walked out on Robbie's closing argument. So he's well practiced.
Know that, but do you know what? Doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, he has no what's the word, respect, I guess, for anybody in any situation.
No.
And if he shows anything that looks like respect, it's really not respect. It's something he's getting out of it.
So basically, he showed up to intimidate the Supreme Court justices, and they pulled down his trousers and pointed and laughed at his naked bum.
At his teeny weenie.
And his teeny mushroom weenie.
Yeah.
Allegedly. And that was it. He was off. But they didn't. They were quite clear in their questioning.
I don't think they even noticed he was there, honestly.
They were just picking at all the scabs on John Sauer's argument until it was just a bloody mess.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We had Justice Roberts, that MAGA, woke.
I mean, you can go tinkle. Amy has to tinkle.
Amy has to tinkle. Go tinkle, Amy. We'll try not to say anything that needs fact checking.
Right.
So Roberts, Mr. Woke, not in any way, shape or form. So he was looking at the historic exceptions, and Sauer came out with some craziness about how many billion people there are just a plane ride away from having an American citizen child. Because, it may come as a shock to him, but that's not worth quite the same as it used to be.
Yeah, no.
Mm-mm. And Roberts apparently retorted when Sauer said, "We're in a new world now." Roberts said, "It's a new world. It's the same constitution."
Same old constitution.
Which I thought was rather beautiful.
It's beautiful because she was written to last the ages, to endure the likes of folks like Trump.
And Gorsuch, who's a Trump appointee, I believe.
Oh, look what Amy said.
According to Juan, guy from the LULAC, they did notice and were not happy.
Good.
Oh. Well, all the reports I saw were saying that the likelihood is that, especially Kavanaugh, I believe it is very a real stickler for the Supreme Court appearing independent. And what they were saying was, by Trump turning up, he's almost made it impossible for them to rule in his favor because it will look like intimidation.
Exactly right. Agree. I mean, that was not a good call on his part.
Yeah.
I think he screwed the pooch on that one.
Gorsuch was trying to push them on the Native American position, and Sauer just messed his pants on that one as well.
Yeah.
Appalling. And then the ladies, Barrett, Kagan, Jackson, they didn't take much truck with his position either. And I think it was Jackson, Ketanji Brown Jackson, who said, "Are we bringing pregnant women in for depositions? Is this happening in the delivery room?"
Yeah, right.
It's just what they're suggesting is not practical.
They have these they have these brilliant thoughts like, yeah, we could do this, and that's where it stops. They don't play it out in their heads like, well, how would we enforce this? Well,
yeah, exactly.
It's just a thought, and it sounds good to me. Let's put it down. Let's write it down. Let's use that.
So basically, he went to intimidate the courts. He left before the good bit, and he missed seeing his own legal team being completely dismantled.
Yeah.
By justices that he'd appointed, some of them.
Exactly right.
When can we expect a ruling?
I don't know, honestly.
Presumably before the summer when the judges recess?
I would think so. I can't imagine they'll leave that hanging.
Yeah.
Summer.
But I imagine not a lot before.
I don't think it'll be long because very few of them, if any, will dissent. Maybe one, possibly two. And the two that will dissent, can't imagine they're going to write a very long dissent.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll just have to watch that space for more how they rule against him rather than which way they're going to rule, because I've read some reports that said they can rule against it on other grounds, which would mean it being sent back to Congress to be reworked rather than them having to use the 14th Amendment outright and actually, formalizing a decision on this subject. So that's a potential one to watch.
I think that'd be the sissy chicken way out or something, to just send it back down the line, but so you don't get blamed for anything,
Exactly. And we are about to clash with Glenn, so we're going to wind up without even mentioning the whole nonsense. So I had a little nana nap this afternoon under Laura's instruction, and when I woke up, they were bombing bridges and negotiators in Iran, and
Tammy Jo Tammy Jo was fired. And what else happened? Was there anything else that happened during your little 5-hour nap, 3-hour nap?
There was something else, and it's gone clean out of my mind.
But I
think the Maga Mike cave.
Right,
that came as well. It's all. You can't look away for 5 seconds.
You can't take a nap, Mama. There's no napping anymore. I can't handle this world by myself. So no more napping. I'm sorry. You're no longer in timeout ever.
Sleeping with one eye open all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my Lord. But I'm almost quite pleased that we haven't really had chance to say much about Pammy Jo, because it's just replacing one face with another Trump sycophant. So,
a bad one, yeah.
And even if he's only temporary, Trump's former personal lawyer, Todd Blanche, then the next guy who they've lined up as the potential long-term replacement is no better either. So,
Chris says Glenn's on, but as we know, it doesn't take long to, completely blow up a branch of our government. So Todd Blanche could very well do that very quickly.
I worry for the Epstein victims and them ever receiving any kind of justice and accountability with him, with his track record. Okay, well, do you have any poems or prayers to end us with?
No, I don't have anything right off the bat.
No, me neither. I should have been more prepared.
You had mentioned talking about that one section of the Serenity Prayer.
Yes. The wisdom to know the difference. That's something that keeps coming up to me. So maybe we'll just finish with the Serenity Prayer, because it's so hard. It's so hard to know the difference between the truth and the lies, the difference between propaganda and facts, the difference between good ideas and bad ideas at the moment.
But all the Serenity Prayer is really asking us to do is know the difference between the things we can change and what we must accept as being beyond our control.
And I think in some small way, this is our effort at having courage to change the things by keeping them talked about, by keeping them on people's minds. And so if you wouldn't mind closing us with the Serenity Prayer, I would be very grateful.
I would be glad to. Okay. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and most especially the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thoughts and best wishes to Summer. Hope that her father-in-law and she continue to recover and she's back with us soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Laura, for your time and your insight from the other side of the pond.
Thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure always, but I'm afraid we're running into Glenn now, so I'm going to have to close the cafe and say good night, everyone. Thank you all for being here, but the cafe for tonight is now closed.